Hello and welcome to this League One prediction show special with me, Stephen Downs. I'm a Huddersfield Town fan, but I'm going to give you all my predictions for this upcoming 2026-2027 League One campaign. Remember, put in the comments, guys, where you think each team may finish. Let me know. It's a bit of fun, so don't take it too seriously. But yeah, let me know if you agree or disagree with any of my choices. Like, share this video, and of course, subscribe to the channel. We'd love to get our subscriber rate up more. So without further ado, I'll get the table up. So here is the table. We've got top two playoff 7 to 11, 12 to 16, 17 to 20, and of course relegated. So here we are. So yeah, let's get underway. I will do it by section, so I won't go through it team by team. I'll just sort of do a bit of a roundup. So here we go. So my bottom four teams are going to be AFC Wimbledon, Bromley, Cambridge, and Wigan Athletic. I've got Wimbledon to finish last, then Bromley, then Cambridge, and then Wigan. So I think Wimbledon, you look at them, they haven't really improved in terms of the transfers this season. I still feel that they've got a lot of work to do in the transfer window if they're going to finish anywhere outside the relegation zone. Bromley have just come up. Obviously, it's going to be tough for them. Normally, League Two sides coming into this division don't do too badly. However, the standard of this League One season is going to be crazy, and I just feel that there's not going to have enough quality to stay in the division. Much like Cambridge, I think they're going to struggle as well. To be absolutely honest, Wigan's the bit of a rogue one. However, Wigan were really good last season at getting to the halfway line and then not being able to score goals until we brought Towns Joe Taylor in. And he obviously banged a few in, which meant that they pulled away from any danger that they may have been in last season. But yeah, I do think, to be honest, that this is going to be the bottom four. So your 20th to 17th is going to be Burton, Peterborough, Notts County, and Blackpool. So Blackpool there, Burton there, Notts County, yeah, Peterborough, sorry, there. So yeah, so these are going to be the next lot. Burton only survived last season at the skin of the teeth, really. They did really well past Christmas and got the results that they needed. They play a certain way. I can see again being very similar to last season, where it's going to be close for them. Will they get pulled into the drop zone? It possibly could be instead of Wigan. But yeah, I think Burton. I've just got them surviving. Peterborough last season very poor. They didn't do what they have done in previous seasons where they've unearthed a few gems. That didn't happen at all last season. Bit of chaos behind the scenes. Don't really know where they're going to go this season. They're not really doing a lot in the transfer window. So I've got them to finish lower mid-table, just surviving. Notts County, come up from League Two. I think they're going to do all right, but they're going to find it. They're going to do all right, but they're still going to find it difficult. I don't think they're as strong as some of the teams that have come up from League Two previously. So I've got them to finish here, and then Blackpool I've got in 17th. I just feel that the quality of their side has gone down from last season. They've lost Ashley Fletcher to Town, which is a really big miss. They've replaced him with Dion Charles, not as good in my opinion. And there's still a lot of work to do on that Blackpool squad for me. So I've got them into 17th. Let's go 16th to 11th. So in 16th, a bit of a surprise maybe, I've got Stevenage. 15th, I've got Doncaster. There we go. 14th, I've got Mansfield. 13th, I've got Barnsley. And 12th, I've got MK Dons. So yeah, 16th to 12th. So Stevenage obviously finished really well in the playoffs last year. Unbelievable by Alex Ravel. What a season. I don't think they're going to recapture that form. So I've got them dropping 10 places. Doncaster, I think they're a mid-table team if I'm being honest. They could push higher. I know a lot of YouTubers and people doing these prediction videos have got Doncaster to finish higher. However, with the quality of the league, I just think they're going to finish mid-table. Mansfield, Nigel Clough, very experienced manager, knows what he's doing. I think they'll be able to push on a little bit this season. Again, though, they're gonna be able to deal with injuries and suspensions and stuff. Is the depth of the squad that good? I just feel that again they're going to be mid-table. Barnsley, a bit of a change there. Conor Hourihane obviously was the manager last season. They played a very specific style. They brought in Stendhal, a manager that they recently had a couple of years ago, and the fans really liked. Again, they don't spend a lot of money, Barnsley, and if they lose one or two players, they could finish lower than this. Depends what happens at the end of the transfer window. I feel that they do really need to just improve that squad slightly to do better than this 13th position that I've got them. MK Dons obviously came up from League Two. I've got them doing the best. I think they are predicted to be the best out of the League Two teams, if I'm being honest. A lot of YouTubers again have got these to be higher. I personally think there is better football teams in this division, but my God, they are making some signings. People from Cardiff and the like, they're just stealing players off, and obviously they can. I don't know how they're paying the wages with the crowds that they get, but yeah, unbelievable. I've got them to finish 12th. They could do higher. That's one of the gambles. I would say Wigan is another gamble, but that's what I'm going on. Let's do 11th to 7th. So in 11th, I've got Oxford. That might surprise a few people. 10th, I've got Reading. 9th, I've got Town. 8th, I've got Leyton Orient. And 7th, I've got Wycombe. So let's just go through them. Oxford obviously had a terrible summer. They just transfer embargoed. Financially, they're just not in a good place. I don't know really what's happened behind the scenes there, because they always seem to be a decently run club. So yeah, they are in a bit of trouble. Oxford, not being able to sign anybody, had a few players leave. They've obviously still got a couple of quality players there. However, I just think it's going to be too much. I believe it's Ramsey that's gone in there as manager. I don't really know why they've changed manager, because they did have a really good manager before that, and yeah, Ramsey's a bit of a risk, I would say. Let's move on to Reading, a bit of a more stable club now. They're sort of building a Reading. They had a little bit of a tilt trying to get into the playoffs last year, but they were coming back from all the financial shenanigans. So this year they'll be looking to push on a little bit more. However, I just feel the sides that are going to be above them have just got a bit too much for them on a more consistent basis. Ninth, Town. After the last couple of seasons, I'm not getting my hopes up. I've just seen us lose to Preston on penalties after conceding another 90+ minute goal to equalise, to take it to penalties in the League Cup. Just nothing changes at Town. We have brought in some good players. However, I just feel the sides above us have got more momentum, more going about them, and are going to make a bigger splash in the division. 8th, Leyton Orient, Richie Wellens, absolutely class manager. He'll want to do better than what they did last season. They had a very poor last season. Standards in the squad were not good. A lot of change about in last summer for Leyton Orient, of course, where they replaced a lot of them loan players that did so well for them the previous season. I just feel that Leyton Orient are going to do better this campaign. I may have them climbing too many places, but again, it's a little bit of a gamble. I think Richie Wellens will do well. Wycombe Wanderers to finish just outside the playoffs. Michael Duff improving Wycombe. They had, they didn't do bad last season when he went in there. I just feel that they're not going to just have enough compared to the sides that I've got in the playoffs, but they're going to have a decent season at Wycombe. I do believe that. Right, let's move on. Stockport County are my first team in the playoffs. Then I've got Plymouth Argyle to finish 5th. I've got Bradford City to finish 4th. And I've got Leicester City to finish 3rd. Let me just rearrange that so it's in the right order. There we are. So Stockport, they've had a lot of change about. Rochdale manager has come in to manage them because um, uh, the previous manager has left. Chenela. He's left, and you know, a bit of a surprise really. However, Rochdale's manager is really good. Obviously, got Rochdale promoted last season from non-league back into League Two. Um, there's going to be a bit of a style change there, football wise, but it'll be interesting to see what Stockport do this season. We've got Tom Cleverley at Plymouth. Disastrous first half of the season, or first 2/3 of the season, really, for Plymouth. Don't know how he managed to get past Christmas, to be honest, in the job. However, for some reason he did, even with fans protesting against him and the board and all sorts going on at Plymouth last season. However, it can't go as bad as what he did last season, and they did have a really good end to the season at Plymouth. You know, they need to add more to that squad, but if they can add to those players that they already have and have managed to try and keep, I think they'll have a really good season. I've got them to finish 5th. Bradford City to finish in 4th. Graham Alexander did really well last season. They had a very specific style of play. Teams couldn't handle it, to be honest. And I think that they've added well so far in the summer. They haven't lost really anybody that you would expect them to maybe lose. They've been very good with the contracts of Bradford and very smart in the transfer window. I can see them doing just as well as they did last season. I think that I've got them to finish 4th, which is I think where they finished last season. Yeah, Bradford to do well again. Leicester's a bit of a funny one in 3rd. I don't really know what the financial implications are still there. They have sold £50 million worth of players for players that didn't want to be there in League One, which is absolutely fantastic for them to get them off the books. However, you know, it is a fresh start for Leicester. They are having to juggle things around, and I don't know whether that's going to be too much upheaval to have such a good season this year. However, the quality that they still have in that squad, you would expect them to do well. So I've got them finishing in 3rd. My top 2 are Luton to finish 2nd and Sheffield Wednesday to finish top and win the title. I think obviously Jack Wilshere at Luton has done really well last season. You know, when I say did really well, I think they were expecting to do better, much like Huddersfield Town. However, I just feel that they're going to have a better season this year. He's had another 12 months under his feet, under the desk at Luton. He's been able to shape the squad how he wants, and I just think they're going to be in a really, really good place. They've signed some good players already this summer. Casey Palmer's gone in there on a permanent, I believe. So yeah, I expect Luton to do really well. Sheffield Wednesday top. The reason I've got them to win the title is just by the sheer fact that they're doing it off vibes. I think they're just doing it. They're going to do it because they've got the football club back. They were on the edge of the oblivion. They've come back from the edge, and every game this season will just be like a party for Sheffield Wednesday. And although I'm not convinced by the manager Pedersen, I just believe that they're going to do it off vibes, and they'll you know, they what smash teams. They have had a really good quality into the squad, and Barry Bannon's come back, and I know that was a massive lift for the fans as well. So I just think that for the storyline for Sheffield Wednesday, I've got a feeling that they're just going to win the league. So yeah, so there's my predictions, guys. Obviously, like I say, please get your predictions in the comments, whether you agree, disagree. Please like and share this video, get your comments in, and subscribe to the channel. But for now, this has been my League One predictions, and we'll be back on the channel with more content in the future. Okay, thanks. Bye bye.